Ever heard of a golfer with a natural gift for comedy? That's George Burns for you. He had a way of cracking jokes about how bad he was at golf that always got a laugh. But it wasn't just his humor that made him stand out. His cigar was practically part of his personality. It was his signature look, making him one of a kind on the course. Burns had a way of turning his not-so-great golf skills into pure comedy. He fully embraced the classic image of a celebrity golfer, one who loves the game, but isn't exactly a pro. He'd joke, "My game is so bad, I have to hit the ball twice to get it to go anywhere." That kind of humor was classic Burns. He had a way of turning even his worst shots into comedy gold, making sure that no matter how he played, people were always laughing. His ability to poke fun at himself made him not just a golfer, but an entertainer. He never took himself too seriously, which made him all the more likable. Fans didn't just watch him to see how well he played. They watched because he made the game more fun. And let's be honest, being able to both play golf and entertain the crowd at the same time, that's a skill in itself. Not everyone can pull that off, but Burns did it effortlessly. Whether he was sinking a great putt or completely messing up a shot, he knew how to keep the mood light. Golf can be a tough, frustrating game, but he proved that a little laughter can go a long way. But Burns wasn't just known for his jokes. His style on the course made him stand out just as much. You could hardly ever spot him without his signature cigar. It became part of his whole persona, something that made him instantly recognizable. You can almost picture him taking a slow, thoughtful puff before each shot, adding to the unhurried, easygoing rhythm of his game. Maybe that even made his rounds a little slower than most, but who cared? With Burns, the experience was just as important as the scorecard. Whether he was cracking jokes or casually strolling the fairways with a cigar in hand, he made sure the game and everyone around him was always having a good time. But if you think his career was only about his style and jokes, think again. His career was more than just making people laugh. He had plenty of success to back it up. His journey in sports actually began long before he ever picked up a professional golf club. In fact, before fully dedicating himself to golf, Burns was a talented football player. He initially attended the University of Tennessee, a school with a deep football tradition, but he didn't stay there long. After just his freshman year, he decided to transfer to the University of Maryland. It was there that he played as a defensive end for the football team, showcasing his athletic ability on the field. However, as much as he enjoyed the sport, something kept pulling him in another direction. He soon realized that his true passion wasn't football at all, it was golf. Instead of splitting his focus between the two sports, he made the tough but life-changing decision to step away from football entirely and put all his energy into the game that he truly loved. That decision would ultimately define his future. In 1975, Burns turned professional, officially beginning his journey on the PGA Tour. Like any golfer trying to make a name for himself, he had to work his way up, competing in events and proving that he had what it took to win at the highest level. Success didn't come overnight, but with hard work and persistence, he eventually found himself standing in the winner's circle. His first big victory came in 1979 when he teamed up with Ben Crenshaw to win the Walt Disney World National Team Championship in Orlando. Winning his first PGA Tour event was a special moment, but it was only the beginning. Burns carried that momentum into the next season, and in 1980, he secured the biggest victory of his career at the prestigious Bing Crosby National Pro-Am. While he may not have had the most decorated career in terms of wins, Burns was consistently competitive, proving that he belonged among the best. Over the years, he racked up more than 70 top 10 finishes on the PGA Tour, showing just how steady and reliable his game was. Even if he wasn't always lifting the trophy at the end of the week, he was constantly in the mix, contending against some of the biggest names in golf. One of the highlights of his career came in 1981 when he had a real shot at winning one of golf's biggest events, the US Open. That year, Burns played some of the best golf of his life, putting himself in an incredible position heading into the final round. He held a 3-shot lead going into Sunday, just 18 holes away from claiming his first major championship. Unfortunately, as golf often reminds us, nothing is guaranteed until the final putt drops. The pressure of a major championship Sunday is unlike anything else, and despite his best efforts, Burns wasn't able to close it out. He ended up finishing tied for second, just missing out on what could have been the defining victory of his career. Still, even though he didn't win the US Open, just coming that close was an impressive accomplishment. Major championships are the toughest tests in golf, and very few players ever find themselves in serious contention for one. Burns also had another solid finish at a major when he finished tied for 5th at the 1977 British Open. Competing in those kinds of tournaments against the best players in the world was proof that he wasn't just a guy known for his jokes, he was the real deal. As time went on, Burns continued to play on the PGA Tour, but like all professional athletes, there comes a time when the body doesn't quite perform the way it once did. However, golf is one of the few sports where age doesn't have to mean the end of competition. That's where the senior Senior PGA Tour, now known as the PGA Tour Champions, comes into play. When Burns turned 50 in 1999, he made the transition to senior golf, continuing to compete against some of the best players from his generation. While he didn't find the same level of success as he did in his prime, he still had some solid performances. His best finish at that level came in the 2000 Brickyard Classic, where he finished in the top 10. Even though Burns's days of chasing PGA Tour wins eventually came to an end, his love for the game never faded. Golf was always more than just a job to him. It was a passion, something he enjoyed playing no matter the circumstances. Today, he continues to be involved in the game, living and playing at Quail Ridge Country Club in Boynton Beach, Florida. It's the perfect place for a guy like Burns, someone who has spent his life around golf, enjoying the company of fellow players, sharing stories, and most likely still cracking jokes along the way. He was one of those rare players who brought more to the game than just skill. Sure, he could compete with the best, but what really set him apart was his personality. He had this perfect balance of talent and humor, making golf not just about winning, but about having a good time. Whether he was cracking jokes about his own game, entertaining fans with his wit, or casually strolling the fairways with a cigar in hand, Burns made the sport feel a little more fun, a little more relaxed, and a lot more memorable. Because at the end of the day, golf is about so much more than just trophies and records. It's about the experiences, the stories, the people you meet along the way. It's about those moments that stick with you long after your last competitive round. And that's exactly what Burns represented. He may not have had the longest list of wins, but his impact on the game was undeniable. He proved that golf isn't just about how well you swing a club, but about the energy you bring to it. So whether you're a serious golfer chasing titles or just someone who enjoys a casual round with friends, there's something to take away from the way George Burns played the game. Enjoy the moment, laugh at the bad shots, appreciate the people around you, and most importantly, remember that golf, just like life, isn't just about the final score. It's about how you play along the way. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.